guys, I'm Megan.
I'm Wendy.
And we wanted to chat about some of our pop culture loves lately.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
I'm very excited right now.
Are you?
Yeah, because I've kind of been in a rut of like listening to the same things, reading the same things, watching the same things. So I like when we have like this kind of exchange because then I like, you know, I think you and I have similar interests in like what we like.
Agreed.
So let's talk about your books first.
Okay, let's do books. So, my 2018 reading goal is 52 books.
How many have you read so far?
4.5.
Oh my God.
It's the last week in January as we're filming this. Not sure when this is going to go up. So I am on target, but I am going to need to pick up the pace. I'm going to need to have like a couple book weeks because there's going to be some dead weeks. In the summer, even though it seems like I have more time, I have less to read.
Mm-hmm.
So I need some like really light, fluffy young adult novels to toss in there because one of the things that I'm doing, which is kind of unrelated, but one of my New Year's resolutions was to read at least one physical book that I own that was not from the library per month because my book collection is growing and I don't have the space to store all of them. So I need to donate and get rid of some.
So wait, a book you already have on hand that you've read before?
No, because I have like a big stack of books that I haven't read.
Wow.
That I own. Because when I get library books, I prioritize those. Because I have to go back.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I'm just not interested. And then I have this stack that just keeps stacking up. So, kind of contrary to that, I rejoined Book of the Month this year just for 3 months to see, because I love, it's just a treat to myself. I like books. I like getting new books. I like owning books.
Didn't you order me a book? Has it come yet?
I can't order it until the February order, which is tomorrow.
Okay.
I can add it to mine because we had some bonus books. Okay, so this was the January book that I chose, which is Two Girls Down. I am not a suspense mystery reader. Yeah, you should take this. But I really enjoyed this. I was reading a review and someone said that they felt like it could be a series. Like the two main characters they could easily see solving other crimes.
Oh, cool.
Which I agree, but I do felt this stood completely alone. It's essentially the story of two girls that go missing, and then, of course, you know, the search for them and who took them. And it is not what you think it's going to be. And
better.
I just thought it was really well done. And there's some parts of it, some like teamwork portions of it that come together in the end. And I always really like a little bit of that. Like, my favorite part of a baseball game, is when the players in the dugout carry the glove out to the guy that was left on base.
Wow.
When they get out. Like, that's...
Wow. I don't think I've ever noticed those kind of intricate details of a baseball game. I mean, maybe the bat boy, but...
Wait, Wendy's saying she's never noticed it at a baseball game. Literally at the end of every inning, if there's a player left on base, one of the other players carries
so the dude doesn't have to run all the way back in and run all the way back out.
Correct.
I mean, it makes sense, but
every single time. It brings me great joy, and there's some moments in this book where they bring the glove.
Oh.
Look at that brought it up, that I enjoyed.
Can I take this home today?
Take it.
Awesome.
Yay, look at I'm moving books out. I am KonMariing my house. The other one is the latest John Green, which is Turtles All the Way Down, which my husband gave me for Christmas. And if you're a John Green fan, I enjoyed this. My favorite John Green is The Fault in Our Stars, which a lot of John Green fans, like, there's all of his other books, and then there's The Fault in Our Stars, and some people like the others better.
Oh.
And I like The Fault in Our Stars better. This, to me, kind of ticked The Fault in Our Stars boxes. And one of the things about this is, I wouldn't say his books have happy endings, but he does a really nice job of wrapping this one up, which is a very hard thing to do in a young adult book, because we're talking about teenagers, right?
Mm-hmm.
But in a way that's like satisfactory without being like, oh, we all lived happily ever after. I found this to have a very satisfying ending, even though I would not call it a happy.
Interesting. Side note, one time we were at an event and John Green was there.
Oh my gosh, I'm going to insert the picture right here because I lost my mind.
I was like, go say hello. Go say hello. he was very friendly to everybody there, and Megan just could not pull the trigger and go say hello, so we took a picture.
We were the odd men out in this event.
He didn't know that, though.
I understand that. We were in a private party that was specifically for, like, the big-time YouTubers. Like, everyone's there, and us. And he's standing right behind me, and he's completely lost my cool.
How old is he? He's older than us, right?
Maybe by a little bit, but he has little kids. I mean, I would say he's of our generation.
So it wouldn't have been that weird.
No, and look, and he runs that conference. We were at VidCon. Yeah. Like, that's his conference. Everyone there. I would not have been the only one who was like, oh! But I
got a picture of them together.
Completely lost my cool. That was pretty cool. You don't want this.
Okay, so I don't have any books to share because, look, I spend my time
watching TV.
Watching Netflix and TV.
And then she tells me what to watch.
That's how I spend my time. However, I do in my car love to listen to like Audible, and I tried to download The Sinner. Have you ever heard about that? Mm-mm. Anyway, I couldn't do it, so I just haven't done it. But I'm gonna check these books out, and I'm gonna download me a book from Audible.
Artemis on Audible was fantastic.
What is that?
It's Andy Weir's second book. He wrote The Martian.
Oh, okay.
And I loved,
is it sci-fi?
Deeply loved, I mean, it's about a city on the moon, but it's so, did you see the movie The Martian?
No, not interested.
All right, well, I mean, I want to tell you that you'll love it because The Martian, I think, was fantastic. The movie is good, but not nearly as good as the book, as is always the case. But Artemis was fantastic, and it's like a kind of a bit of a caper.
No. You know me, I want to read like murder mysteries, thrillers, that kind of stuff. And then on the
there's a murder
other end of the spectrum, I want to read young adult teenage love. So can you make me a list of those, please?
Sure.
Okay. So that's why I don't have books, but I have TV, and the things that I've been watching right now are Grace and Frankie. I just finished the last season, which is 4, I think. Season 4. I really enjoyed it, and I found myself, you haven't watched it yet, have you?
I'm like 3 episodes in.
I found myself at the end of it very concerned about Grace and Frankie and their livelihood. And oh my God, are these women going to be leaving my life soon? Is that weird?
Like the show's leaving, or are they going, livelihood,
the characters. There is a, I don't want to spoil it for you. No, yes, there is. I don't want to spoil it for you. You'll see as you progress through this season that the women are fragile.
Yeah.
And it just made me kind of sad. I think. Is that weird?
No, you know, when Martin Sheen speaks, like, I think he shows his age more than anybody to me on the show, and I adore Martin Sheen. But when he speaks, I'm like, oh, he's not President Bartlett anymore. Like,
I tell you, he is. I know we've talked about this before. Him and Saul are my least favorite. I just do not care about their storylines. But I understand that the show is Grace and Frankie, and it revolves around their lives. They don't live in a bubble. Obviously, these are the other people in their lives, and so I get it. So I take it.
Yeah, I like Grace and Frankie too. I've watched it since it first came out, and I'm watching it now, and it's a good balance for another show that I'm watching, which is heavy, and so I like that. It's a little lighter, easier before bed.
I think, okay, so my favorite thing about the show is that Jane Fonda will just drop the F-bomb out of nowhere, and it cracks me up every single time. Every single time.
They're so funny. I mean, the way she and Frankie talk to each other, when she tells Frankie her ears are just merely ornamental at this point. Yeah. She can't, like, they're just so funny. They're just so, and I wonder if they're real life friends.
I hope so.
Because they're so good together. And I love that their arc has brought them together. Like, you know, they were really, in the 3rd season, they were really antagonistic because there was this, like, will Frankie move away? And in the 4th season, I just feel like, you know, they're not afraid of saying, like, you're my best friend and I need you.
Yeah.
And it took them a long time to get there, and I love it.
Yeah, I really liked it. I really like that show. Okay, tell me about your heavy show, because I think I've already watched it.
Broadchurch. I'm watching Broadchurch, and
season 1?
I just started season 2 because I like light and fluffy things. I like Friends episodes, and I like Grace and Frankie, and I like young adult novels, and it is very hard on my brain and my heart to watch things that are heavy and suspenseful and about murdered children.
Yeah.
And However, that being said, I think Broadchurch is fantastic. What's the name of the man in it?
I don't know. I was just thinking that too.
Just Miller.
Yes. Miller. I can't remember his name right now.
Hardy, but what's the actor's name?
Oh, I don't know. I watch that show with captions.
I do too. David Tennant. Okay. I could just listen to him speak.
Yes.
He's Scottish, right?
Yes.
He's Scottish.
And when he talks faster, like
you cannot understand him.
Nope.
I have turned on the captions as well, but I love his accent so much. Mm-hmm. I love the two of them. But here's what happened is at the end, the first season is all about them finding this murder. And for some reason, for me, you do find out, without spoilers, you do find out at the end, which is good. You find out at the end of the first season. The thing that was really hard for me is that all of a sudden, when you find out who did it, it became very real and for some reason harder for me to personally handle the story of knowing how it happened. Like this abstract thing had happened and it was sad and there were moments that hit me like the mother finding him and, you know, those were all awful. But at the end of the first season, I thought, I cannot keep watching this. It's too hard.
It triggered something weird in me. Like, I was uncomfortable.
Yes. Yeah. The end of the last episode in the first season is some of the best television I have ever seen made and made me deeply uncomfortable. And I watched the first episode, and I'm still deeply uncomfortable, and yet I am invested in knowing what is going to happen.
Yeah.
So...
yeah, so season 1 and 2 kind of go together. Season 3 is a complete departure.
Oh, good to know.
But season 3 is their final season. Like, that's it. There's no more. I
thought there were 4 total. 3.
What else are you watching? Anything?
No. I am watching the very first season of the Great British Baking Show.
Thank you. Oh, my God.
However, it takes me forever because I find it... I only watch it at night, and I find it so soothing that I just, like, 20 minutes and I'm out. I never finish an episode.
I am the same way. I watched all 4 seasons over the Christmas break because I was so mad that they took off the American baking show because of...
with good reason, but yes.
Yes. So I did a deep dive into the British, and I'm just in love with Paul Hollywood so much. I want him to give me that handshake. If you watch the show, you know what I'm talking about. I just... love it. I don't even care to bake, but I become invested.
No, and the stuff they make doesn't even look good. Like, it doesn't even look like...
No.
That's the perfect sponge. No,
it's a Genoese. I mean, like, these are things, why do I know these things now? I just love it now.
I just, like, the characters, the contestants are fantastic. But it is so soothing. I mean, it is like visual Prozac, and I really like it.
100%. I found myself putting it on the other night. Episodes I've already watched, and like I fall asleep to it.
Yeah, I never finish an episode. Every time I'm like, out.
I love it.
I'm not really watching anything else. I keep trying to. There's like all the new winter premieres.
Yeah, not interested.
I've tried a few of them and have failed. Okay, what about podcasts?
Okay, I think we're gonna have some crossover here. I am so invested in Matt and Dory's Excellent Adventure. I know. If you guys don't know, Matt, Myra, and Dory Shafrir, right? Did I say it right? Uh-huh. They have a podcast called Matt and Dory's Excellent Adventure, and it's their journey of infertility. Mm-hmm. And they are trying to get pregnant, and so they podcast week to week and give updates and whatever. And this, are you listening anymore?
Yeah, I didn't finish this week's, but I started it.
Matt Myra's breaking my heart this week.
I know. I have been a longtime fan of Matt. I've listened to The Nerdist for years. And so when they did a Dory episode on The Nerdist, and that's when they talked about this podcast, and I started listening, and now I'm a fan of Dory's. But Matt, he's having a rough time.
Oh, it's breaking my heart. Panic attacks. I'm like, the man is working way too much.
He flies back and forth from New York and LA. We're very invested.
Something's got to give. Something's got to give. And I'm just very worried about him.
And the stress of IVF, I cannot even imagine.
Yes, because it's financial and it's heartbreaking and it's all these things that I don't have a clear understanding of, but I'm worried about these people.
On a lighter note, Dory has a new podcast called Forever 35, and I'm into it.
Me too.
Mostly because as I listen, I'm like, yes, I know that thing they're talking about. Like, they're talking about, like, makeup and serums and, I think... Is it all beauty?
No, because they talk about cooking and diet and
yes.
Too.
Just kind of like
clothing.
Lifestyle. I haven't heard any.
Dory has a slow clothes movement where she
does. I don't know what that is.
On her Instagram, she has an Instagram slow close movement where it's like about upcycling. No, not upcycling. Maybe like reselling and that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Oh.
So she's not.
I knew she was like
fast
reselling.
fashion, you know.
Oh yes, which I understand the slow close now,
and I understand fast fashion.
Yeah, in our Old Navy shirts. Guilty.
I do love that podcast. Who is her partner on that show?
It's Kate, but I can't think of her last name.
I really like her actually too.
I do too. I like her a lot.
I don't know where she's from. I like her.
She's a writer.
I like her. Yeah, I like her tone and her everything. So I need to find more from her. The one thing I don't like about that show is they talk about a lot of beauty products. I'm a very visual person.
Yes.
I need to see what you're talking about.
Yes.
I need packaging, I need branding. Just because if they're going to say name, it's X, Y, and Z, I'm going to forget that name when I'm at the store. You know?
Kate Spencer.
I don't know who that is.
She's a writer. Also works as a senior producer and on-air host at VH1, regular performer at UCB.
Mm-hmm. All right.
You know, she's in that. She wrote for BuzzFeed and Rolling Stone and the Boston Post and Cosmo and has a book called The Dead Moms Club. Right. I enjoy them both. I enjoy their guests quite a bit. I don't love, and I know Wendy doesn't either, podcasts that use a Skype call-in system because the sound hurts my ears.
I mean, if you're going to have a guest, have a guest.
I mean, they just can't always. You know?
I'm sorry.
The West Wing Weekly does it all the time, too.
I turn it off. Gilmore Guys is back, -1 Gilmore Guy. Tell me.
Yes, they are doing the Marvelous Maisel Boys, and it's, oh, God. I don't know anybody's name. This is a theme for me in life. I don't know anybody's name. I don't know actors' names. I don't know real people. Alice Wetterland. So it's Kevin of the original Gilmore Guys, and then Alice Wetterland. What's Demi working on? He's working on something big.
I don't know. He's a writer, isn't he?
Yeah, he's still on The Good Place. I thought he was writing for something else, but I know he writes for The Good Place. So anyway, it's Kevin Porter and Alice Wetterland, and Alice was a guest several times on Gilmore Guys, and now they're discussing the Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, but they're doing it from the perspective of celebrating women comics. And I actually have not have listened only to one episode, but they're having women in comedy as their guests.
Awesome.
All right, so I don't ever have any music suggestions. Do you?
She made fun of me because I have a CD. I have a CD.
It's is that a CD?
I am the grandma who still buys CD. I download music too, or actually I don't even download music. I listen to Spotify, stream music, Amazon, blah 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 blah.
We bought this for my daughter for Christmas, and then we lost it Christmas morning.
How did you threw it away somehow?
My husband swears he did not throw it away.
Yes,
but
he did.
Of course,
100% he threw it away. A couple of years ago, my husband threw away my brand new Beats headphones. I was like, what are you thinking?
Did you get new ones?
No, I got them out of the trash.
Oh.
Anyway, so I'm in love with Taylor Swift's Reputation. You haven't listened to it, have you?
Only the...
I enjoy it. Now, I know Taylor gets a lot of hate, but this album is very mature. And
edgier Taylor?
It's edgy. She says some bad words in it.
All right.
I really enjoy it. I just really enjoy it. And I don't know why I buy the CD, because I saw that at Target, and I was like, yes, I'm going to buy that.
It's nice to own things. Nice to support the artist.
Her music is not usually available on streaming platforms, but I think she just signed a deal that it will be eventually, if not already.
Yeah, she's all about them getting paid appropriately, which I agree. They should be. The only thing I'm listening to right now is the Greatest Showman soundtrack.
I like it too.
I love a bandwagon, guys, but we saw that and just fell in love with it. I do have some issues with the fact that P.T. Barnum himself was not a great dude, and so I try and tell myself that this is a separate thing because
just make it it's a fantasy thing.
Right. It's just not historically accurate.
I'm sure Alexander Hamilton was not a great dude too at times. But right? He cheated on his wife.
He did own slaves, yeah.
Yes, okay.
So there's only one founding father who didn't.
Who?
John Adams.
Oh, look at you.
Yeah, I really enjoy it, and it's one of those things where I think it's gotten to the point where it's annoying how much people are talking about it, but I'm one of those people. My whole family loves it. We listen to it. I'm a show tunes person. Like, if my husband comes home and I turn on music, I'm listening to a soundtrack, usually something on Broadway.
I really like that soundtrack. It's very uplifting.
And if you've seen the videos of the making of, they're all over Facebook. There's the one where they were trying to get the show greenlit, so they're doing all the songs, I assume, for producers or whoever funds these things. Mm-hmm. It is incredible. Like the one where Keala Settle sings, like, will make you sob. Because there's one point where, like,
the bearded woman.
Yes.
She's amazing.
There's one point where she's singing in Hugh Jackman just, like, reaches forward and grabs her hand. And I just want to, like, everyone is so into it, and the whole room explodes when they're done. You have to watch the making of videos if you're interested in the movie at all, because they just makes you love it.
Okay, just real quick, because since we're talking about musicals, I watched the Grammys the other night, and I don't know when this is going to come out, so it could be weeks from now. They had the guy who is in Dear Evan Hansen sing a song. I don't remember what song.
Of his own, yes.
No, it wasn't his own. He was singing. They were honoring somebody, and he was singing a song that. Oh, is it called his own?
No. But he wasn't singing for. Oh, yes.
He wasn't singing a song from the show.
Correct.
He was singing like whatever. Anyway, he is an incredible singer.
He is
incredible.
He is. I agree.
And I wanted to ask, when you went and saw that show, was he in it that day?
He was not. He's done on Broadway. But the person we saw was fantastic. And if you were in New York, Hamilton first, Dear Evan Hansen second. It was fantastic. And my husband loved it. And at one point, I cried so hard, like I couldn't breathe. So it's really well done. All right, guys. So there's a lot of words about our pop culture faves.
Yeah, I bet this video is like 20 minutes long.
It is, but we like to talk.
That's right.
Tell us what you're loving. I'm always looking for new shows, new podcasts.
Me too.
New music. I have a lot of friends that are doing music recommendations in their Instagram stories, which I appreciate, but I am never on top of it enough to like write those things down.
Yeah.
So if you have a Spotify playlist of music you like, well, link that below, because I'm way into like
show tunes.
I want you to tell me what to listen to, because I don't know what's cool, but I want you to tell me what to listen to.
Oh, girl, I don't know what's cool either. I watched the Grammys. I didn't know half this before.
The Grammys makes me feel so old and irrelevant every year. I'm like, who? I mean, like, U2 played. I'm like, okay, well, I know.
I know.
Right?
Yeah.
But Elton John. I'm not that old.
But when my 10-year-old is singing the lyrics to Kendrick Lamar, I'm like, what? I'm so old. How does she know this stuff?
Well, and like Kesha came out, and my husband's like, who is that? Like but I knew the Kesha song, and even he was like, well, she's pretty talented, which my husband doesn't say anything nice about anybody ever, so. That song blew me away on the Grammys. That was very beautiful. But yes, nothing makes me feel more out of touch than the Grammys.
Oof.
Nothing. All right, guys. Let's try this again. Thanks so much. Leave us your pop culture recommendations, books you're loving. We're going to leave links to all of these things down below, and we will catch you in another video very soon. Bye.
Bye.